First question says, write 1.24 recurring as a mixed number. Use an algebraic approach and give your answer in its simplest form. So 1.24 recurring is basically 1.2 and 4 being repeated several times. So what we can do is that we can first assume that 1.24 recurring is equal to x. And now if we multiply x with, let's say 10, 10x would be 12.4 recurring. And next I would multiply x with 100. So 100x is 124.4 recurring. Now the reason why I multiplied x with 10 and then x with 100 is because I want to get rid of the numbers after the decimal, which is basically 4. So if we subtract 100x and 10x, what would happen is that on one side we'll have 90x. And on the other side, what will happen is that when we subtract 124.4 recurring and 12.4 recurring, everything after the decimal is eliminated. So 100x minus 10x equals to 124.4 recurring minus 12.4 recurring, which is 90x equals to 112. As you can see, the decimal is gone. And now we can easily rewrite this as a fraction, 112 out of 90. Convert this into a mixed number, which is basically one whole number, 22 over 90. That is 1.24 recurring as a mixed number. Next question says, write in the form a root 2. So root 72 plus root 3 times root 6. So let's first multiply root 3 and root 6, which is basically root 18. Now, if you prime factorize, root 72 is 9 times 8. Root 18 is 9 times 2. So we know 9 is a square number. So root of 9 is 3. So 3 comes outside in both the terms. So it's 3 root 8 plus 3 root 2. Now, if we split 8, 8 is 4 times 2. And as you can see, 4 is also a square number. So that comes outside as 2. And we can see that both the roots have 2 inside them now. So that's 6 root 2 plus 3 root 2. And since the roots have the same number, we can easily add them, giving us 9 root 2. That is your simplified answer. Next question says, calculate an estimate of the interquartile range. For the interquartile range, first we need to find the cumulative frequency. So that's start with 64. Always start with the first digit and then you add the digit to the next and then, keep on repeating it till you reach the final number. So 64 plus 74, which is equal to 138. 138 plus 155, which equals to 293. 293 plus 80 equals to 373. 373 plus 26, 399. And lastly, 399 plus 1 equals to 400. So that means your total frequency is 400 from the cumulative frequency. So for the lower quartile, we will find a quarter of 400, which is 100. So that means the 100th value is your lower quartile. And for the upper quartile, we find 3/4 of 400, which is the 300th value. So that will give us the upper quartile. So now if you look at these values in the table, we start adding the frequency. So 64 plus 74 is 138, which means the 100th value is in this interval, the 45 to 50 interval. So what we will do now is that first 45 are included. So to that 45, we will do 45 plus. Now 100 minus 64 is 36, which means the next 36 values are in the second interval with the frequency 74. So we do plus 36 out of 74 times 5. Why times 5? Because that's the interval. So that is going to give us the lower quartile value, which is 47.43 kg. Now we're going to do the same step for the upper quartile. For the upper quartile, it's a 300th value. So for the 300th value, if we add them up, 64 plus 74 plus 155 and then plus 80. So 300th value is in this interval. So that means we're going to do 55 plus, because that's the starting value, and we have 55 values before that. When you count from 64 to 74 to 155, these three add up to 293. And since we're trying to find the 300 value, the next 7 values are in this interval. So out of 80, we're going to take 7 values, times that by 5, because that's the interval. And that is going to give us 55.44 kg. So now the interquartile range is the difference of these two values. 55.44 minus 47.43, and that equals to 8.01 kg. That's the estimate for interquartile range. Next question says, shown is the graph of the function y equals to f of x. Sketch negative f of x and then f of x plus p, where p is between 0 and 1. So negative f of x means that we're reflecting the function in the x-axis, which means our graph is going to be upside down. So this is going to be -1 and +4 now. Basically, all the values of y which were negative will become positive, and which were positive will become negative. This remains the same because that's 0, and this remains the same because that's also 0. So this is your graph. And then f of x plus p, what's going to happen is that we're moving p units to the left-hand side. So that means it's going to be like this. This will be -3 minus p 0. This will be 1 minus p 0. And this will be -1 minus p and -4. So this is your graph.